Hello, welcome to the second part of developing Android apps in Kotlin. In this video, we will explore the layout editor. Generally, each screen in your Android app is associated with one or more fragments. What does a fragment do? In simple words, a fragment represents a reusable portion of your app's user interface. The single screen displaying Hello First fragment is created by one fragment called First fragment. It was generated when we created our first project in the last video. Each visible fragment in an Android app has a layout that defines the user interface for the fragment. Android Studio has a layout editor where you can create and define layouts. Layouts are defined in XML. XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. It is a markup language that defines a set of rules for encoding documents. In Android Studio, the layout editor lets you define and modify your layout either by coding XML or by using the interactive visual editor. Find and open the layout folder on the left side in the project panel. Double-click fragment-first.xml. The panels to the right of the project view comprise the layout editor. They may be arranged differently for you, but the function is the same. On the left is a palette of views you can add to your app. Below that is a component tree showing the views currently in this file and how they are arranged in relation to each other. In the center is the design editor, which shows a visual representation of what the contents of the file will look like when compiled into an Android app. You can view the visual representation, the XML code, or both. In the upper right corner of the design editor, above attributes, find three icons that look like this. These represent code, split, and design views. Code shows code only, split shows code and design, while design shows design only. Try selecting different modes depending on your screen size and work style. You may prefer switching between code and design or staying in split view. If your component tree disappears, hide and show the palette. At the lower right of the design editor, you see plus and minus buttons for zooming in and out. Use these buttons to adjust the size of what you see, or click the zoom to fit button so that both panels fit on your screen. The design layout on the left shows how your app appears on the device. The blueprint layout shown on the right is a schematic view of the layout. Practice using layout menu in the top left of the design toolbar to display the design view, the blueprint view, and both views side by side. Depending on the size of your screen and your preference, you may wish to only show the design view or the blueprint view instead of both. Use the orientation icon to change the orientation of the layout. This allows you to test how your layout will fit portrait and landscape modes. Use the device menu to view the layout on different devices. This is extremely useful for testing. On the right is the attributes panel. We will look at that later. Now let us explore and resize the component tree. In fragment-first.xml, look at the component tree. If it's not showing, switch the mode to design instead of split or code. This panel shows the view hierarchy in your layout, that is, how the views are arranged in relation to each other. If necessary, resize the component tree so you can read at least part of the string. Click the hide icon at the top right of the component tree. The component tree closes. Bring back the component tree by clicking the vertical label component tree on the left. Now let us explore view hierarchies. In the component tree, notice that the root of the view hierarchy is a constraint layout view. Every layout must have a root view that contains all the other views. The root view is always a view group, which is a view that contains other views. A constraint layout is one example of a view group. Notice that the constraint layout contains a text view called text view first and a button called button first. If the code isn't showing, switch to code or split view using the icons in the upper right corner. In the XML code, notice that the root element is androidx.constraintlayout.widget.constraintlayout. The root element contains a text view element and a button element. Now let us look at changing property values. In the code editor, examine the properties in text view elements. Click on the string in the text property and you will notice it refers to a string resource hello first fragments. Right-click on the property and click Go to Declaration or Usages. Values or strings.xml opens with the string highlighted hello first fragment. Change the value of the string property to hello world. Switch back to fragment first.xml. Select text view first in the component tree. Look at the attributes panel on the right and open the declared attributes section if needed. Tip: if the attributes panel is not visible, click the vertical attributes label at the top right. In the text field of the text view in attributes, notice it still refers to the string resource at string/hello first.fragment. Having the strings in a resource file has several advantages. You can change the value of string without having to change any other code. This simplifies translating your app to other languages because your translators don't have to know anything about the app code. Run the app to see the change you made in strings.xml. Your app now shows hello world. Now, let us change text display properties. With text view first still selected in the component tree, in the layout editor, in the list of attributes, under common attributes, expand the text appearance field. Change some of the text appearance properties. For example, change the font family, increase the text size, and select bold style. Change the text color. Click the text color field and enter G. A menu pops up with possible completion values containing the letter G. This list includes predefined colors. Select darker gray and press enter. Look at the XML for the text view. You see that the new properties have been added. Run your app again and see the changes applied to your hello world string. In the attributes panel, scroll down until you find all attributes. Tip: make sure text view first is still selected in the component tree. Scroll through the list to get an idea of the attributes you could set for a text view. We are done for now. In the next video, we will look at adding color resources. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. My name is Adrian K. I'm out.